Assalamu alaikum. Hi guys, this is Sarah. You also know me as the Feudal Search. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about a topic that you've probably seen either on the internet, social media, or have heard people talking about. It's about the Muslim woman Hijabi who was featured in Playboy magazine in an interview. So today I'm going to kind of be talking to you guys about my perspective on this. Basically, to give you guys all a summary, for those of you who don't know, Noor Tagore, sorry, is a activist, a speaker, and a journalist. She has previously done talks for TED, and she's done a TED Talk before, as well as she is a journalist for Newsy. Her goal is to be the first Muslim hijabi anchor on television, and she's done a lot of work in activism for speaking out against the objectification and sexualization of women and other issues like that. So to get right into what our topic is for today, Noor Tagore decided to do an interview for Playboy magazine. She was approached by Playboy to give her interview for one of their series of articles. It's about basically like rule breakers and people who break the mold from what you would expect. So she did the article for the magazine. I'll kind of show you guys here. So basically, this is an article from the Huffington Post talking about her article in the magazine. She's the first Muslim woman to appear in Playboy wearing hijab in the entire history of the magazine. It's part of their October Renegades series. So there's some excerpts of her interview in here. And she is a Libyan American born in West Virginia. And she talks about in this article some of her struggles and things that she's faced being a hijabi and a Muslim woman. This article also kind of covers, the Huffington Post one, kind of covers some of the backlash that she's received after appearing in Playboy magazine. So the article itself appeared in Playboy on September 22nd. She is pictured a couple times, but most of it is the text. Basically, it's asking her about some of her work as the first hijabi, or as becoming the first hijabi anchor on commercial US TV, and what her challenges are in her work and stuff like that. Basically, most of the article talks about how she's confronted her challenges, what the backlash has been, different things like that, and what her goals are and what she is looking to do coming forward. So, excuse me, she, basically the article, people haven't really had much problem with the article. The content of the article really is fine. The thing that people are having the biggest problem on is the fact that she chose Playboy as her platform for giving out her message. So basically, the issue that most people have, like I said, is with the platform. If it's an issue about how she's dressed and stuff like that, she's completely covered. I really don't see how people could have an issue with that. So we're kind of gonna just address the issue of the platform that most people are talking about. So for those of you who don't know, or who need a refresher on the basic facts, so Playboy is a magazine and publication that has online formats, has also a physical magazine that they, in the past, published nude or semi-nude photos of women, but also had articles and different things like that. So Playboy has been known as a reputable publication for years for articles and stuff like that, even though they also at the same time had nude photos of women. They actually stopped publishing nude photos of women in 2015. I can't remember if it was their magazine or their website that they stopped in 2013, but one of those they stopped in 2013, the other one in 2015. So it's been nearly 2 years since they stopped publishing nude photos, and they kind of did a rebranding of their image. Some people say, okay, they've stopped publishing nude photos, but it's still about the reputation of Playboy. It's still about the fact that they've made money off of objectifying and sexualizing women and showing them in this way. So as Muslims, we shouldn't choose this platform in order to put out our message. So first off, I'm just going to say right off of the bat that I disagree with that mentality. It's perfectly up to your own personal thoughts whether or not you would choose to do an interview in Playboy or what you think about it. But for me, myself, I don't have a problem with the platform, and here's why. So, one of the fact is that this platform she's using is a way to reach an audience that she would not normally be able to reach on other using other platforms. So like, for example, a lot of us run either like Muslim blogs or websites and things like that. Posting on those websites about our own issues, you're already speaking to an audience that is sympathetic to what you are saying. So generally people who are not already interested in Islam aren't going to those Muslim websites and things like that. They're doing other platforms for what their media is. So I kind of wanted to quote something that she said in an interview with CNN. She said that her purpose in doing this was to bring to an audience that may have never had, may never even heard the story of a Muslim American woman, and to share with them what it actually means. This article in this interview was not for Muslims to go out and pick up Playboy and to start reading it. It was for people who are already reading Playboy to see a fresh face with a fresh message and to kind of test their own way of thought and when it comes to what it means to be a Muslim American woman and what they know about us. So that's kind of what she had to say about the issue. She herself was trying to bring it to a new platform that may not have seen this. And the fact that it was in such a well-known publication has caused people to share it more. So, for example, she said in her interview with CNN that Ashton Kutcher shared her interview to millions of fans that he has on Twitter. The fact is that this is a positive portrayal of a Muslim woman in a way that people are not used to. What they stereotypically feel Muslim women should look like or what they should be doing. That this platform that she chose has enabled her to reach millions of people. So the thing is the Muslim community, I've never heard of having issues with people appearing on CNN or Fox News or any of these places that Fox News especially, and conservative channels like that have been seriously instrumental in promoting this view of Muslims that we're oppressed, that we're terrorists, that we just a general attitude of Islamophobia, that they have done so much more in promoting these values, which are much more of a horrible platform than really what Playboy is presenting. And I don't have a problem with those platforms either. I feel that you're reaching an audience that may not normally see your message, and that's the point, is that these platforms where people normally would not see this message are being reached. So people who have a problem with Playboy basically just have a problem with the fact that there was once nudity and that they were once making money off of that objectification, which they did. There's no, question about that. But there's other platforms that still continually make money off of the pain and suffering of the Muslim community that our community has no problem with Muslims appearing on. So that's first off one of my problems with when people say that this is a bad platform for her. Second of all, there's been plenty of people who have appeared in Playboy in the past for interviews that are respectable. So first off, as far as civil rights leaders, MLK and Malcolm X both appeared in interviews in Playboy magazine. They understood that the audience that they were trying to reach, they wouldn't normally be able to reach through other mediums. Additionally, I think that it's pretty ironic that in our recent past that we had a Muslim man who gave an interview for Playboy, who I also very much like and respect, Professor Reza Aslan. He has appeared on many different TV shows, news shows and stuff like that, and published a number of books about Islam. He is a religious studies professor. He's gotten his master's and his PhD, but he he has used these platforms and appeared on these platforms because he understands the importance of spreading the message to an audience that normally would not be exposed to your message. And I never heard, when he did his interview for Playboy, I did not hear a single person in the Muslim community saying things that they've said about Noor Tagore. I mean, the things that people have said about Noor Tagore, first of all, saying really horrible things about her sexuality and the way that she presents herself, which are totally not even related to her article and what she was there for. And all these kinds of like really horrible criticisms. I never heard any of that for Reza Aslan, even though he is a Muslim man and he was appearing in the same publication. So people say, I heard that, oh, it's making a mockery of hijab to have her appear in that magazine. I think it is very strange that we take what a woman wears, a Muslim woman wears, and we don't mind a Muslim man who's wearing the same amount of covering that he's required to wear, who does an interview as well, and we don't go, oh, he's shaming Muslim men. There seems to be this obsession in our community about hijab and what hijab means, when it's not really as deep as all that, where people tend to take this extreme offense to any kind of association, anything that has anything to do with hijab, when honestly the fact that she's reaching a bigger platform and a bigger audience is more important than the fact that she's appearing in a publication that once showed nude photos of women. To kind of talk about what she herself, she did a response where she talked about her reasons for appearing in the publication and what her responses were to some of the backlash and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about that in just a second, but I wanted to also highlight that one of the big things that people are saying is that by appearing in Playboy, she's allowed Playboy to take essentially ownership over her person, or what she has to say and how she wants to present herself. First off, Noor herself has said that that's not true, that she's the one who dictated the terms of her interview. And anybody can say, oh yeah, maybe that's not actually true, maybe she's just lying, but I'm going to take her word for it that she dictated her interview how she wanted to. And to me, it's ironic when Muslims say that Playboy takes away the autonomy of a hijabi who's appearing for an interview in Playboy, when the Muslim community somehow feels that it has ownership over the Muslim woman body. Just this fact that people are highlighting hijab alone is so extreme, that they're focusing more on what she's wearing, what she looks like, than what she has to say. I haven't heard anybody talking about what she has to say. I've only heard people saying, oh, this is how she's appearing. The fact is that the Muslim community limits the autonomy of women's bodies so much more than the fact that a woman is appearing in Playboy. That's not our prophetic tradition to control how women present themselves and different things like that. Women do have requirements for how we choose to, or how we present ourselves in public like that and stuff like that. But the Muslim community takes many steps farther in making sure that women fit to some kind of societal expectation that's within the Muslim community, even if it doesn't match up with prophetic tradition. So that's kind of, I'm gonna highlight one of the things that she said in her article here, so that you guys can see it, because she's kind of talking about the same thing that I'm talking about right now. This is on her website. She said that we are taught that our beloved prophets came to those who were broken, struggling, and in places of darkness. They never believed that their message was too good for any audience, and neither should we. We live in a struggling society that so desperately needs our light, a society that needs to hear our voice. So I think that that was such an eloquent way of her to respond to people, what they're saying about her. The fact is to me, it seems so much more in line with the prophetic tradition that we reach an audience that may not normally hear us, an audience that is considered to be almost the untouchables, bad people of society, that is much more important to reach them with a positive message than it is to say, oh, this sister is a slut, or oh, this sister is this and that, for coming out and just giving an interview about her experiences and about her career in a magazine. the fact is, those people who are saying that are really hurting themselves more than they are doing anything to improve the situation or anything like that. They're making awful assumptions and awful things and are saying awful things about this woman. Even just looking at the story from the Huffington Post, which I'll show you guys right here real quick. The fact is that half of the article is not even about Noor's message. It's about the fact that Muslims have been basically jumping on her and like being angry about this. The thing is most of these ones that they have reposted are respectful comments, but this has not really been the majority of what I've seen. It's not respectful comments. I mean, there are, you know, a number of respectful comments that simply criticize it, but I think that a much more important way to criticize is more in line with what Linda Sassour had to say about the interview. So Linda Sassour herself actually disagrees with appearing in Playboy as a platform, and it's for the reasons that we were talking about, that previously it was a nude magazine, that they've made billions of dollars off of the objectification of women, and Noor herself was asked to appear in Playboy magazine but was not comfortable with appearing in that kind of in that kind of publication. Sorry. Down here though, she says that while she doesn't agree with Noor's choice to take this interview, that she's outraged by the slut-shaming of a young sister in our community. She is someone's daughter. She is our daughter. Constructive criticism is welcomed, and we should be giving others, each other, feedback and nasiha. So it's... Linda Sassour's criticism is a lot more in line with our prophetic tradition than it is what we're seeing all over Twitter, all over Instagram, whatever. Her criticisms are respectful. She's making intelligent points, and she is also at the same time condemning what other people are saying about Noor. It's her criticism, though I don't agree with her stance. I feel that there are more important reasons to appear in a publication, even if they have had a history of objectifying women. Even if I don't agree with her, I can most certainly respect the way that she has approached this situation. So I'm going to link to all of the things that I've kind of shown in this video down below, and some additional materials to her interview in CNN and to Reza Aslan's interview and things like that. I hope that you guys will check out some of the sources and think for yourselves what you feel about this topic. And please comment below on what you think about it, whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, that's fine. Remember though, keeping in line with the tradition of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as well as other prophets, to keep all conversation respectful and intelligent. Right, thank you guys, and I hope to see you all again soon. Assalamu alaikum.